So, Imaginary is a movie that I quite enjoyed. Now, does that mean I believe that it's the greatest movie in the world? No. But there's definitely some good parts, and there's definitely some parts that I thought could have been better. Actually, there's one specific thing that I think could have taken this movie from just okay to maybe even better than okay. The premise is DeWanda Wise, the woman who plays the lead in our movie, is a woman who's married into a new family and she's taking care of her stepdaughters in her father's old home, in her childhood home, actually, where once upon a time she had a imaginary friend. And essentially, what ends up happening is her new stepdaughter also gets an imaginary friend. But as things progress with this imaginary friend, things start to get creepy and other things start to get revealed that causes suspicion. Now, that's a pretty cool premise. And honestly, it's a movie that I wasn't necessarily looking forward to because of Megan, Chucky, and all these other inanimate object movies that have come along. And oh my God, is this little doll trying to kill me? We've had that in different ways with AI as well as just sorcery and different things of that nature. This one's a little bit different, and I don't want to go into spoilers because I think the lore is actually pretty cool. Now, we have a horror movie, right, where there's a little girl and her imaginary friend. The movie makes no bones about it that this particular imaginary stuffed animal is actually out to get this family. It doesn't wait, it doesn't try to trick the audience into believing that, wait, is it a real doll? And do all these weird things that horror movies still do when we all know what's happening. The movie gives you feelings of suspense through the things that the little girl does, right? One of the cool things that the movie uses is a scavenger hunt list that the imaginary friend gives the little girl. And part of those things that the little girl is collecting kind of raises suspicion. And at one point, the little girl is asked to do something to herself and to someone else that causes the chain of events where the rest of the family becomes a little wary of what's going on. I thought that, especially DeWanda Wise, like she did a really good job giving an earnest performance as the stepmother who the little girls, the two daughters, don't really like that much. Some of the jump scares in here were pretty okay. They're pretty good. And it's really hard to do good jump scares now because there's a ton of horror movies that we've seen. So I like all of the different pieces of this movie. The one thing I didn't like as much about this movie was the tameness of the imaginary friend, of the monster, the entity behind the curtain. I thought it could have really benefited from some violence. The violence in this movie is very tame. And at the end, when you're getting to the climax of the movie, it just gets a little bit unconvincing in its execution of the fierceness of the monster. I don't feel as afraid because every little thing that's happening, if there even is a kill, which there are, it's a kill in here, it's just not violent enough, just not scary enough. Because of that, I thought that it didn't achieve what it was trying to achieve. I wouldn't have walked out of this movie and said, yo, you gotta see the kills in this. It's more like, this is fun. It's good. How many sparks does this movie get from me? 3. It's a solid movie. There's nothing really to write home about. It's also not terrible. It's actually much better than I thought it was going to be. Because based on the trailers and based on my non-hypeness around another inanimate object, this movie delivered mediumly. Well, all right, y'all. What did you guys think about the movie? Let me know in the comments, and I'll talk to you guys next time.